How's it going? Never before has it been more appropriate to have a shop full of balloons and helium. We got 1,000 subscribers! I don't have a sparkler, so I dip this piece of wood in acetone. Woo! Yeah! Oh. Yeah, that was pretty weak. Anyway, I want to say thank you guys so much for your support. I'm really digging doing this YouTube thing, and I'll keep making videos even if I don't make money on them for 10 years. I'm having fun with it, and I'm happy that some of you guys are enjoying my videos, so thank you so much. Now, I don't really have a big 1,000 subscriber special planned, but I'm thinking, let me grab some parts. The newest iteration of my laser calls for a lot of aluminum welding. I need to weld this guy onto this guy with no room for slop. And as of right now, this is what my aluminum welds look like. Pretty ugly. And what better way to learn than to torture myself? So today, for 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna do 1,000 aluminum TIG welds. Let's do it. First things first, we gotta be honest with ourselves here. I'm a dummy. There is no way I could keep track of how many welds I'm doing. So I'm gonna make an Arduino do it for me. So I started throwing this thing together on the breadboard, and I realized this old LCD screen, it don't work no more. Who'd have thunk leaving sensitive electronics in the bottom of a drawer for years is a bad idea? Remember what I said about being a dummy? So then I was thinking like, oh, I guess I could write an app for my phone, but obviously that's already been written. So that's that handled. On to the next thing. So to kick this extravaganza off, I've cut these little 3-inch pieces as our baseline, and we're gonna have them stuck together like so. That way we can get a fillet, a lap joint, and a flat weld all on this one piece. And we'll do this to start out, and then our last 3 will also be this. And then we can compare and contrast, see if I learned something. That's enough delaying. Let's get to it. Alright, I got my pieces tacked together. That in and of itself was difficult. Wish me luck. Honestly, that is much better than I was already doing before, but I don't think I put enough filler in. Well now, I guess we gotta let it cool. This is gonna take forever. So here's our first baseline plate. We have our flat weld here, which is a bit concave and a bit large. I don't actually know if that's true, but it seems large to me. Our fillet, where we barely actually bridged anything. So lots of room for improvement there. And our lap joint, which we did a little bit of a better job actually bridging the materials, but there's lots of undercut here and still did not do a good job. Now then, I think it's only appropriate that we gift this piece to my very first subscriber. I have a present for you.
What is it? Oh, it's beautiful.
I left a lot of room to grow. So we're gonna start out with just doing a bunch of flat welds on some plates that I got laying around. Now hopefully that'll help me get a little bit more of a feel and figure out how to not make them concave and all that good stuff. This might be time for a montage. If you ever wondered what 96 mediocre welds looks like, well, ta-da! So, what have I learned thus far? I learned 1, you gotta wait a good minute until the puddle forms on this thing. The first like full second or 2 is just cleaning the metal. 2, I've learned it's fairly difficult for me difficult for me to get that first jab of filler into the puddle. So what I've been doing is I take my torch, I start the puddle, and then I sneak it back a little bit, dab it in there, and then I can go ahead with the welding. 3. This is gonna take a lot longer than I thought it would. So, we got no time to waste. So I'll be back. Montage or no montage, I'll be back. Ta-da! As you can see, I was much more organized this time. So here we are, 200 welds in. So what I learned on these next 200s is, so I could start the puddle and keep it going pretty good at this point, but I couldn't figure out how to end it until maybe down around here. I got a little closer to figuring out how to tie the knot. So what I would do is bring it to the end and put one last dib of filler in there and then slowly raise off the foot pedal while pulling backwards across the bead. And that seemed to work a little better. I still have a teeny little divot in these beads, but that's the best thing I've learned so far. I kind of want to just do this and not watch any instructional videos and just see what I can learn on my own. The other thing I learned is I find myself dabbing to the beat of whatever song I'm listening to. The Ground Walks with Time in a Box by Modest Mouse seems to be the perfect beat for welding aluminum on a very preheated plate. So, the more you know. Now I think on the, ow! It's still hot. I'm gonna give the machine a break, run into town and grab some 3/32 rod and see how I can run that, and then we can start practicing our fillets. Oh, well, got the rods. Also got this. It was so cheap I couldn't afford not to buy it. All right, let's see how this 332 goes. That didn't go too well. I think I need a run of 100 with the 3/32 before I move on to fillets. Between these two plates, I clocked another 53 welds. As you can see, there is a progression towards improving, but I ran out of argon, which seems silly to me because I refilled my cylinder this week.
Several days later.
All right, that's 300 done. Now then, it's about time we start practicing fillet. I'm just gonna take this whole dang piece of flat bar, stick this whole dang piece of flat bar on top, and then we can do fillets all the way along on both sides. If you couldn't tell by the way I tacked that, I have no idea how to do this. So I'm just gonna play with different attack angles and see what works best. I'll be back when this thing's filled. I don't think I've learned anything yet. My welds still don't look like Instagram. Now granted, these welds are much better than our initial one, but that's not really saying much. So we clocked 100 fillets here, but I don't really see any notable improvement. So, I got enough material to do at least 200 more fillets. The alternate title for this video is how to turn good aluminum into scrap. Let's do it. Not sure how many welds I've done since I last checked in, but I'm down to 301 welds left to do. Actually, that's a pretty dumb number. 1 second. 300 welds left. I'm not gonna pretend that my fillets have gotten much prettier, but I can consistently start and finish them and keep them going. So we're gonna call this a success. Now I'm thinking my next course of action here, so I'm going to butt these pieces up like so, and then I can practice butt joints all the way along this. And it might be a little awkward with this gully, but beggars can't be choosers, man. So now I'll be back with these two pieces stuck together. And once again, we filled this thing to the brim. And that is on both sides. All in all, I fit 178 more welds in there. So we're getting real close. Figure why don't we just throw this guy on top of this monstrosity and get some lap joints in. Those lap joints are freaking hard, man. So between this side and the back side here, we have 125 lap joints. I'm not sure exactly where we're at. Oh! We're done! We did it! Oh my God, that was a bad idea. Oh, I hate to leave off with my lap joints looking like this, but let's do our benchmark plate and see. Maybe I'll get lucky on that lap joint. Oh, we did it. Well, that was a dang marathon. My initial intention was to get this all done in a weekend, but I ran out of argon, and the argon getting spot didn't open on the weekend. All these welds are kind of snuck in between work and finished up today. So it wasn't quite a marathon, but I tell you what, man, I'm exhausted from the 400 or whatever I did today. So we have our baselines here. Just to recap, there's the first one. And now for the big, disappointing unveiling. There's my final one. Clearly not perfect. We got a pinhole here. I kind of overheated the plate over here, but much, much better. And that was the idea here. I just wanted to improve. And I really do feel like I can now reliably start a puddle and run a bead on aluminum without kind of doing a lot of guesswork. Although doing this second benchmark plate really felt like I was starting from nowhere. I think I was nervous. I'd say all in all, this probably took about 12-ish hours, so like a normal working day. If you're trying to learn how to TIG weld, maybe this is an option. We'll call it the brute force method. Towards the end there, I really felt like I was just trying to finish rather than improve. But again, I want to say thank you guys. Now, getting to the end of that run, I feel the weight of 1,000, and I'm not taking that number for granted. That is a lot of people. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really love doing this, and I'm happy that you guys want to watch. So thank you so much. Now, if you made it this far, you're the best. Leave a dinger. I guess I don't gotta tell you to subscribe. Thank you for watching.